has been Templecombe Medieval Pageant. Thank you very much and goodbye. With me!
Templecombe Medieval Pageant. 'Tis a silly place, where you may see a man taking his armour for a walk, where you may see many kinds of different living history camps, and between the falconry, the markets, the boher, and the ferret racing, you will find many a reenactor putting their armour on and getting ready to take the field. It is an event that has run for 30 years, and I have attended for many of those years, and that I was lucky enough to attend in its final year. Templecombe is one of those events that focus more on the fun and enjoyment of both the reenactors and the audience and was less concerned with historical accuracy. As such, we'll see, in quotes, Viking mercenaries alongside 14th, 15th century knights, cannons, and archers. The overarching story of the Battle of Templecombe is that Jack de Molay, the last remaining Grand Master of the Templar Order, has taken what remains of his troops and his riches and holed up in his fortification, where he will be attacked and hopefully driven out by Lord Somerset. There is a battle each day of the weekend where an attacking army will assault the fort and the defending army will try and repel them. And in the process you will see all manner of silliness, set pieces, and general hilarity take place. In this video I hope to show you just some of what Templecombe had to offer and that will now be lost to time. As a reenactor who turned to HEMA, I shared in the sorrow of this being the last Templecombe. All of these people would attend every year, and it was a staple of the reenactment community in the southwest, and one that sadly won't be easily replaced. But that's enough of such sorrowful talk. I was on the attacking side this day, and my army assembles itself ready to make war. The Templars step outside their fort and get ready to defend it.
Ladies and gentlemen, now for a little bit of history for you before we begin. At around 1190, the Knights Templar was formed so that good Christian people could visit the Holy Lands without being harassed. By 1307, the Templar Order was massive, with lots of money, lots of wealth. By 1314, Jacques de Molay is the surviving Grand Master of the Knights Templar, and Edward II is King of England. Now this is where we get a little bit creative. At this point, Jacques de Molay has retreated to his stronghold here at Templecombe with a large amount of the surviving knights and their money. King Edward II has dispatched Lord Somerset to attack the Templars. Lord Somerset is advancing with his superior numbers. It's hard to tell if the Frenchman in his little castle is worried about this. Lord Somerset is pressing a numerical advantage, and it appears that the Templars are being pushed back into their palisade. Jacques de Molay must order the retreat soon, or his men will all die.
Here I am with the rest of my men returning back to my side of the field to get some water. With Jack back in his castle, we are now reassembling to do another attack.
Templar, you're French. You're not a real Templar, you're French.
Oh yeah, it wouldn't be a true English reenactment without a dig at the French. Here we see the Viking mercenaries go off to join Jack de Molay, turncoating in hope of a better financial deal. Never trust a bloody Viking.
His forces directly to the palisade walls. They will try and fight over them and see if they can push through. We will see what happens now.
And so the second assault begins. From a reenactor's perspective, this bit can be a little bit fraught, as people on the top of the walls are attacking down at you while you are attacking up at them, and it's quite easy to cop a blade in the eyeball if you're not careful. But as far as I know, there were no injuries this year, so that's all grand.
Again, ladies and gentlemen, they are fighting for their lives. Will you cheer for them? Who cheers for Lord Somerset? And who cheers for the Templars?
My flank is deployed. I spend this clash in this portion of the army, fighting against the treacherous Vikings on the other side of the wall. And it wouldn't be an English reenactment without a Monty Python reference.
What a strange person.
The clash inconclusive, we once more return to our side of the field to take on water. I believe at this point the army's leaders will parley.
Lord Somerset has challenged Jacques de Molay. He has said that he has the best champions and that rather than losing all this life unnecessarily, he would ask for 5 of his champions to come out and fight one-on-one.
The Battle of Champions is something of a sacred tradition in the history of reenactment and a place where new members, at least in my group, could have their mettle tested in a rite of passage. I've had many a successful Battle of Champions, but honestly, since I've started doing HEMA, it has lost the same appeal it used to have, because I can't stab people in the face, and that's just not right.
Ladies, I will ask you cheer. Will you cheer for the Templars? Or will you cheer for Lord Somerset?
This Battle of Champions was won squarely by Lord Somerset's forces. However, Jacques de Molay decided that wasn't good enough.
He says he's French, he doesn't cheat. The crowd found that very funny. Do you want your stool? He's going to give you his own stool, don't worry. Lord Somerset, it looks like you'll have to find a different way to resolve this. Lord Somerset is throwing forward his battering ram. Let's see if the gates hold now.
This is the only reenactment event I've actually ever seen a siege engine used in that wasn't just a very tiny catapult. So here we see a battering ram that was probably cobbled together before the event being sent up to break down the gates. A group of defenders sallies forth from the fortress to try and repel the battering ram and its crew. And here we see the battering ram being captured by the
Jack
Templars.
says it's his battering ram now. The Honourable Lord Somerset has definitely, absolutely kindly offered to let the women and children go free. And as you and I know, nothing bad is definitely going to happen to them. Lord Somerset has even sent his nice, kind German mercenaries to go and escort them off the field. How kind of him!
Ah, women and children and German mercenaries, what could possibly go wrong?
They don't speak any English! What a kind of misunderstanding could happen now? No, we wouldn't want an accident, would we, Lord Somerset? That would be bad. Oh my God, no! The German mercenaries have massacred the women and children! Who could have seen that coming? Jack, your women and children are dead! Are you going to sit there and let him do this? The Templars are angry. They're sending out their troops to fight. I get the feeling that this fight will be to the death.
What a beautiful portrayal of war crimes. The third and final clash begins.
Jacques de Molay is sending his left flank.
The field commanders stagger the different portions of the army, so every bit of the audience has something to watch while the show goes on.
As you see, this is the final clash. People are starting to fall.
You can see me fighting here.
And I guess a cheer for the Frenchman as well.
With the battle won, I asked my line commander if I might kindly go and execute a noble knight who I know over there who is still wiggling. He agrees. I would once again like to thank Chris for lending me his armour for this event. I particularly like how my beard can be used as a gorget sticking out the bottom of the Sallet helmet. The battle concludes with an honourable duel between Jacques de Molay and Lord Somerset's body double.
My lords, it is you who will decide the outcome of this game. 3, 2, 1, fight! Cheer for you on your side! Cheer for Somerset! Oh, cheer for de Molay! Lord Somerset, you could have chosen a better stunt double.
My lord! My lord!
And here you have the death of the last Grand Master of the Knights Templar.
I'm pretty sure I've won, but just in case.
Because we're the same height now.
Shut up, you're dead!
Still moving.
Still moving! Stop moving!
Win.
You start like that anyway.
My lords and ladies, will you cheer for your victors? Will you cheer for the army of
So
Lord
falls
Somerset?
Jacques de Molay, and so is won the Battle of Templecombe. Next comes the magical resurrection
I want you to
ceremony.
shout, the beer barn is open. 1, 2, 3! And look at that, ladies and gentlemen, it's like magic! Today,
I helped the newly resurrected Grand Master to his feet as he actually copped a knee to the bollocks in that fight.
who's helped up at the kitchens and has cooked.
All that remains now is the final crowd charge, which is how we conclude every one of these battles.
On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3, charge! Don't touch the barricade! Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for coming. To be honest, I don't know what time it is, but we'll be open for a little bit longer. Please still visit the kitchens, the bar, and the traders who are on site. Please come back tomorrow, where we'll put on an even greater show than today, I'm sure. Thank you very much for coming.
And so concludes the Battle of Templecombe, Day 1. All that happens now is we'll go back to camp, we get out of our armour and get ready to eat and drink. There was an inflatable sword fight, a reenactment of the battle for Jerusalem, and between the Saracens and the Templars, the Venetians won. Don't ask me why or how that happened, but that was definitely what occurred. I have to say, these Lanchinets are very fancy. The evening saw a 21 and some gun salute to the fallen of Templecombe. I myself was fighting for the company of the Black Serpent and was there in honour of Richard Ross, who had died just days before this event. It was a very emotional affair. The fortress was burnt as tribute to all those people we have lost throughout the years and all those people who would have loved to have been there and that we would have loved to have been in attendance too. As the flag finally gave up the ghost and burnt, the castle fell, we could all go and drink to the memory of the fallen. Hail the victorious dead. The next day I once more prepared my battered body for combat, putting on my armour afresh. Yesterday I wore my Saleh helmet, and today I was wearing a kettle helmet that I was kindly donated by Red Dragon, and I needed to field test so I could do a proper review video of it. The armour you see me wearing was lent to me by a friend of mine called Chris, who is a fellow warden of the tour. Chris reenacts with Plymouth Medieval Society and is on hiatus for reenactment at the moment. This armour is based on sets from the 100 Years' War and features these quite lovely bronzed knees, elbows, and pauldrons. The chainmail shirt is mine and represents a transitional period between armours before voiders were created, where the actual main body of the shirt was taken away and covered by a cuirass, and the only parts that were covered in chainmail were the gaps in the armour. This was quite a heavy set. I normally fight in just the chainmail shirt and a helmet, so it took a little bit of getting used to, but with the armoured brigandine and everything, I felt very, very safe. I did, however, almost fall foul of the main drawback of the kettle helmet, which is its open-facedness, inasmuch as while I was fighting, a member of my own side who was not paying attention to his weapon swung his falchion at my face, and luckily only hit me in the throat, which was guarded by the male standard, but still, it was a close thing. I must offer a massive thank you to my lovely wife Amber, who helped me get into the armour both days. I took to the field with a spear, a armour-class arming sword, and a buckler that was made for bowhurt. So the second day begins. We take to the field much as the day before, but as you can see, there is a huge gap now where the castle had been the day before. We will see how that plays into the battle going forwards.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Battle of Templecombe 2025. Before we start our final battle, I'm going to pass the mic over to Mary, who's going to have a few words to say before we start.
As you can see here, the Templars erect something of a palisade to try and defend against us for the opening clash.
I'm back, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry about that.
With both armies assembled, we begin our attack.
Who will you cheer? Will you cheer for Lord Somerset? Lord Somerset's forces are being to be
You can see me fighting here alongside our naked Viking attack dog, Jem, who took to the field in nothing but a loincloth, shoes, gloves and a helmet. Very brave.
It appears that no help has come from charging head on. I think that Lord Somerset...
With the opening skirmish done, we return for water. Here you can see two members of the Iska Bowhurt team who joined us on the field both days. Rehydrated, we start the second assault. During this attack, we dismantle the palisade, making it more difficult for the Templars to defend themselves and having to push out into the field. The second clash concludes. We all march back for water, a parley is called, and a battle of champions is announced, and I volunteer myself. However, as you will see, things become a bit like a fever dream. Jack de Malay has now employed a time-travelling wizard who is performing magic here to summon up his champions. He is also armed not only with magic, but a giant spoon.
Where are they, he asked, behind the palisade.
Jack's champions take the field.
Is that a Nazgul? Where did the Nazgul come from? Okay, so the position is summoned a minigun, multiple assault rifles, and a Nazgul. Lord Somerset, what is your answer for that?
So a minigun, machine guns, and Velma from Scooby-Doo with a handgun. I call dibs on the Nazgul.
A minigun and a Nazgul. All I can say is good luck.
Outrunning my opponents in full armor, I managed to bag myself a fight with the Nazgul, leaving the Viking on my left to fight Velma from Scooby-Doo, who is armed with a frying pan and a handgun. Good luck to him.
Historical accuracy isn't quite being observed.
It's at this point guns start to be fired at as me get a little bit worried.
You're supposed to shoot them, not your own side. He's your wizard.
It is then at this point on the right side of the field that a Vickers machine gun with a machine gun crew is unveiled, and they mow down not only the champions but our entire army. So that answers the age-old question, what if knights had machine guns? The wizard comes again to perform some resurrection magic, and we have a proper battle of champions this time. My opponent is a Lanchonnet who is armoured from the waist up and armed with a poleaxe. His fancy pink trousers, however, are swordproof, giving him an advantage in this battle. I think if the matchup was arming sword and buckler versus poleaxe, I would expect the poleaxe to win, and as such he cops me with a good strike to the armpit, and then I go down. I'm markedly slower in my armour, which I think is unsurprising seeing as though it is literally half my body weight spread upon my limbs. In spite of my best efforts and multiple cuts to the backs of his unprotected legs, I cop a poleaxe to the arm, chest, and finally to the spine. And then the spine. And then the spine. And so I die. But I survive, and I'm retrieved from the battlefield, given a jelly baby or two and some water, and I'm right as rain. So, rehydrated, it's on to the next clash. Here you can see the arrow collection crew. They will pick up all the arrows shot at us so far, take them back to the archers so they may be loosed once more. It's a great gig. Here you see me pop out of one side of the army and go and find myself a scrap on the other side. I have to say I'm finding the kettle helmet much easier to breathe in, however it is just before this that I've almost been hit in the face, hence why I probably moved. Driven back from their fortifications, we come to something of a stalemate in the centre of the field.
I'm back. As you see, ladies and gentlemen, this futile fight over a wizard's hat appears to have been a large draw. There doesn't appear to be any headway for either side, to be honest.
Both forces withdraw, and the war crime bit occurs again, with the women and children being killed by the German mercenaries. However, I don't think they was fast on their feet today, and many of them run away.
Off the field!
Here you see myself and the other members of the company of the Black Serpent receiving an arrow storm. I like to try and catch them on my shield. We are waiting to flank on the right, but I've noticed that the bowhurt fighters are still there and kicking, so we're waiting for them to die so that we don't get filled in. As the arrow storm concludes, we move to attack the right flank. Our plan is to bust through the right side and encircle their army in a noble and valiant effort But I engage in a clash with a knight who basically stabs me in the neck with a longsword. And so my dreams of valor and honor are somewhat muted as I am punched repeatedly and then stabbed and then fall upon my opponent. One of the pros of getting murdered quite early in the battle is you can have a lie down and a nap. Some of the other clubs didn't seem to get the memo about taking your hits and going down in this clash, so they have to release an actual plague to finish off the last remaining stragglers.
You left your fort undefended, Jack, and all your money's gone.
With the battle concluded, all that remains is the final clash between Somerset and Jack de Belay. My corpse is resurrected and moved so I don't get trod on during this conflict.
So how many years have we been doing this?
This is my 30th year of combat against you.
30th
And you
inch of
still
combat.
smell the same.
This fight has been going on for 30 years, ladies and gentlemen.
I think we should end this one last time.
I'm not. Because so far this round has only been 9,000 years today.
Right, one more time, please, ladies and gentlemen. For one final time, the Templecombe Medieval Pageant, please cheer for these two champions who will fight. This is 30 years of animosity that's going to come out here. Please cheer for one final time!
How could you reach this low?
How could you reach that low? It's quite hard to bend over in that plate.
Help me out. Help me out.
Gravity assist, right. Oh dear.
Bugger!
They've killed each other?
Did you stab me?
I certainly did.
I just stabbed you.
Oh, bugger.
Ladies and gentlemen, this ends the Battle of Templecombe 2025 and Templecombe Medieval Pageant as a draw. These two armies will forever be fighting in our dreams. The beer barn is open. 1, 2, 3. There we go, that's it.
Go for a pint. I'm going to charge you now, my love.
And so closes Templecombe Medieval Pageant 2025. You will be sorely missed, and a huge thank you to everyone who took part and who organised this great event.
And one final thing, just thank you to everyone who's been part of this pageant over the last 30 years. Reenactors, traders, the commentators, the volunteers who've helped in the kitchen and to get the field ready. Every single person is a part of this show and is a part of our family. So thank you very much. Hip hip! Hip hip! Hip hip! For one last time, ladies and gentlemen, this has been Templecombe Medieval Pageant. Thank you very much and goodbye.